Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Situated for a warning, but the warning never came. Situated for a warning, don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward in 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake, and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning,
Wait.
Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Situated for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Situated for a warning, but the warning never.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
It couldn't have been me, sir. I was front row in my AOC t-shirt, foie gras sucking on a press release, sir. My head down, fourth shot, good little sheep, sir. Sit down, sweetie. The adults are gonna speak first. They trust the science and they're terrified of research. Here to thank our healthcare heroes, they've been feeding to the burnout, feet first. Until suddenly they dip mid-shift, take a header off a bridge. Such a shame, they were really such a sweet nurse. Now they'll never get the card and the cold slice of pizza meant to thank them for their teamwork. Now they'll never get the baggie full of checks mixed, which would be the one reward they'd see for the moms they had to intubate, and the countless cries of grief since we've been haunted by the specter of the C word. Now all the applause for our healthcare heroes rings a very hollow note because we played it out like Freebird. See, add the ones and zeros in our fragile checks and balances are checks for all the wealthy who have such unholy talents that we think it's patriotic that we all got zero balances. And re-elect Pelosi so she'll face our toughest challenges. Which is analogous to water for a drowning man. Nancy disregards our impoverished with a spiteful and dismissive little waving of her withered hand. Cause 500,000 freezing on the streets is Biden's winter plan. And I bet you swore they told you you were voting for a different man. But really all you wanted was a different man. It didn't make a fucking difference if he finishes the previous inhabitant's agenda and starts auctioning protected land. Biden's born to leap at any war a donor's check demands. Turns out that you can't cure greed once it infects a man. Once they lose respect for human life and focus all their fucking efforts on the oil baron rescue plan. Honey, what are we to Hecuba or Hecuba to us that if she's starving we should give a damn? Why should we be moved to tears if someone isn't eating? We won't even recognize that food is essential to our being. It's just us and motherfucking Israel who will not guarantee that food's a basic human right. Because starvation is our favorite tool of genocide disguised as sanctioned democratic healing. That's me in the corner, losing my religion, gouging out my eyes and then dancing on the ceiling. Jesus fucking Christ, what a feeling.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains and bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph R. Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Joe had swore he'd close but only chose to amplify, where they got 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. And no, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. She tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, that sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren, say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights, forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near, and all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. See, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't. You see, they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark, because you aren't, because we aren't.
IndependentLeft.news. Indie.
What's up, Indie?
Indie News Network.
Indie. Can I get news
from Independent Left.
IndependentLeft.news. IndependentLeft.news. Indie Left Media. Independent Left News. Indie Left. Independent Left News.
Independent Left Media.
Indie Media.
Indie Left.
Indie.
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 Indie Left News.
Indie Left.
Hi, Indie.
Indie Left News.
Subscribe to Indie News Network.
We're world building. Your way of assisting, I feel like, is really cool.
IndependentLeft.news. Independent Left News.
I'm a huge fan.
He created INN.
The founder of Independent News Network.
Indie is the founder of Indie News Network.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
Everyone check out Indie Left News.
Hey, Indie Left. IndependentLeft.news. Indie. Indie.
Hi, Indie.
Indie Left. Indie Left News.
Indie News.
Independent Media.
Independent Left News has done an amazing job.
Hey, fam, what's up? All right, I just leveled out and blew up Reef's ears. I love doing that. Yes,
you did.
I knew I did. It is Sunday night. It is How Do We Miss That? It is the first time in a couple weeks that we're going live for How Do We Miss That? And damn if I miss doing this. So I'm gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get in, but holy shit, did you guys check out the INN anniversary day of content? I mean, I didn't really get a chance to hype it. I know that we didn't promote it nearly as much as I wanted to, but we had 16 scheduled streams throughout a 24-hour period. Most of them were pre-recorded, but damn, man, a ton of work, a ton of time put in. We're so proud of everything that we had put out and how it all came together. Had so much more things that we could have done to make an entire other day of content, but I think I was a little burned out on making it. I think everyone was a little burned out on watching it, but I think it made some evergreen content. Yeti did an awesome stream about sustainability. I think everybody needs to check that one out for sure. And we had some rewind stuff, and then we did our roundtable, and we all cried a little bit, and we had some fun with the roundtable. You guys did a special INN news, so it was really cool. CBC voter, It was amazing. Thank you, appreciate that. Anthony Malecki's in the chat, fam. What's up, dude? Thank you so much, man. Really, I love you, man. You
Speaking of special INN news, Colin Tuesday at 8:00 is going to be doing a like fundraiser thing for his teaching gig.
Right. Yes, for Giving Tuesday.
I don't know the details. I know he put a tweet out if people want to find that from INNs at Get Indie News.
Yes.
You guys want to find that?
Yeah, that's in the doobly doo too.
Yeah, he's asking for some donations there, so make sure to tune in Tuesday, give your support,
Yeah, so
always appreciated.
It's always appreciated. So yeah, we did a clip show a couple weeks ago and put together a whole Ukraine theme, all the different clips that we had done all throughout the year about Ukraine and the war there and the special military operation, quote unquote. Okay, let's do that for YouTube.
Yep.
And then by the way, so Anthony Malecki, the reason why I got all choked up, Anthony actually upped his Patreon this week from to another level, and I deeply appreciate that, man. I love you really. So your support's really important to all of us, and you're a big fan and big fam, and we all appreciate it really. And it just goes right back into supporting great content creators, which Anyway,
yeah.
Welcome everybody to How Do We Miss That? So it's Sunday night. It's How Do We Miss That? It is a show and podcast streaming live on Rockfin, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Odyssey, Telegram. Sunday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, available on all your favorite podcast platforms as well, and Substack. Don't forget, that's at indiemedia.today. That's co-hosted by me. I'm Indy, founder and editor of Indie Left News, Indie Media Today, and Reef Freeland, this guy sitting next to me, he's the INN technical director, host of Reefer After Dark when it runs, and more regularly INN News, which is up to I think 35 or 36 episodes so far. We're both co-founding members. What? Sorry?
I said I think so.
Yeah. So he co-hosts that with Colin. We're all co-founding members of
Indie News Network, which is a collaborative family of independent content creators. Shout out to Indie News Network. You can follow them at indienews.network. All the stories that we're going to do tonight were included in independentleft.news between Sunday and Friday. That's the website that we run, and that's automatically updated at noon every day. It's impossible to keep up with this fire hose of developing news all week long, and these are just 5 pretty big stories out of the hundreds. And please make sure like the stream, share this link, subscribe to our channel on all the platforms that you watch and listen. We're pretty much everywhere. And again, we'll thank all the volunteers and everything at the end. We've got credits, and thank you so much to everyone that contributes, and Patreon. And again, we're available everywhere. So I want to get to stories because we've got some of them that are pretty interesting. And first one, let's look at some thumbnail. Okay, so on the thumbnail, we're going to cover that Ukraine goes dark. That's going to be later. Pilots and Amazon workers.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what's happening there. And then we're going to talk about Orf and Matt Taibbi and the article they wrote about censorship and what YouTube has been doing to them. And I may even actually have to go in a restream and turn off YouTube for a portion of that. So we may have to kick over to Rockfin and Rumble to show some of the video if you want to see the full Orf thing. I'm just worried that they're going to take us down. But otherwise,
I mean, I think we'll be okay if we're, we probably don't need to show the whole thing.
We'll see. So first story is about the pilots, though. And I'm worried about the pilots. I think we all should be worried about the pilots. They're workers just like everybody else. They're blue collar. They may make slightly better salaries. They do impossible work really hard. And we're going to learn a little bit more about what they're up to right now. So this came out of Labor Notes, Jonah Furman, last week. And the pilots are speaking out on contract flights. I get to have a life, too. Like, I'm reading through this. I'm like, nobody's talking about airline pilots? Wait, airline pilots, too? Seriously? Like, is there anyone that's immune? Is there anyone that's not being squeezed? So I thought it was important to talk about some pilots and read this story really quickly. That's I just put the link for Rockfin in the chat. Rockfin's an ad-free platform. Go over there, sign up, subscribe for free. Shout out to INN that just hit its 2,000th follower for free on the platform. There is a premium subscription available that's going to be going up in price soon, but either way, all of our content's available basically for free. And you'll be able to see all the clips from this. By the end of the week, you'll see all of them free. I make a couple of them premium throughout the week, and as we release them, they become free there too. Anyway, pilots, holy moly, pilots. Airline labor is at a breaking point. Country's 4 largest airlines facing labor pilot conflict, all centering on mismanaged pandemic recovery. Yay! So the pilots are split among 3 unions, and they share grievances over grueling scheduling. This sounds very similar to the rail workers, right? And also to the Nabisco workers.
Yep.
So they say overworkers depleted their home lives while inflation eats into their paychecks. Well, of course, because they're not being raised to keep up with right now the rising cost of inflation. Here, Delta pilots voted by 99% to authorize a strike with 96% turnout. They all want it. They all want to fight. United pilots, 94% to reject the tentative agreement, and the American Pilots Union leadership voted not to even send their deal out for a vote. Southwest pilots filed for mediation in September, signaling the contract negotiations are not going to go smoothly either, right? So, any potential strikes are still a long way off. Airline unions are, interesting, covered under the Railway Labor Act, and negotiations are subject to extensive federal oversight before any legal strike or lockout can take place. I think we can thank the Reagan administration for that. I seem to recall in the early 80s, there was a pretty heavy airline pilot strike, and the government came in and broke that strike and forced the pilots to go back to work, if I remember correctly. But I'm not going to speak to the details. I need to research it. I'll be the first one to admit I don't know the details of that story. That's just what I remember as being a little kid.
Right.
So, like the rail negotiations, pilots negotiations have stretched on for years without raises. But pilots and rail workers alike, the primary issue isn't money, it's time. And again, we've talked about this on the rail worker stuff. It's how much time they're getting. So again, not money, but time. So the airline industry has gone through incredible turbulence over the past 3 years. Not surprising. When the pandemic hit, demand collapsed, and they obviously the flights went down 75% by May 2020. And what did they do? They furloughed or they laid off everybody. But air traffic rebounded just as fast, shooting up 80% from February to July of last year. All right, over the course of the pandemic, federal government spent more than $50 billion on stabilizing the industry. They pumped money into this thing. And that money was meant to maintain capacity for when the market bounced back. Makes sense, right? Instead, they did the opposite. They offered buyouts, encouraging thousands of pilots to take early retirement deals. And now that short-sighted decision has left them scrambling to keep up with demand. Yeah, they told all these pilots, take retirement packages so they could cut their books and show massive profits when demand was lower. And instead of using that to maintain the levels that they were already sustaining during pandemic or prior to pandemic, they instead reallocated that money and turned it into profit, which thanks federal government for that. And here's the result. More work for fewer pilots, more fatigue, and less time at home. We had on some days a tenfold increase on pilot fatigue calls. All right, this is not a canary in the coal mine. It's a lion roaring in a cage. I mean, you don't really hear that description too often from a pilot or like from a worker inside, but fatigue calls are based on a pilot's own judgment. Federal Aviation Administration regulations govern how long a pilot can be scheduled to work in a day, depending on such factors as start time, number of co-pilots. The pilots say what's legal under FAA rules and company policies is not necessarily what's safe or smart. That's haunting in itself, that pilots are not determining exactly what's safe or smart. Can we start right there now? And then he says, I have to make that call. Hey, you're legal. You can have a 13 or 14-hour day, but are you good to land in LaGuardia at midnight in a driving rainstorm? The more pressure that's put on you, it's pressure on the margin safety. I mean, so tours of duty, which are known as work blocks, and here this is also gets into, remember how they had that just-in-time scheduling for the rails also getting longer.
Yeah.
So now where pilots used to be assigned to leave home for 1 or 2 days at a time, now work blocks tend to be 4 or 5 days long. How do you sustain a marriage? How do you know your children at all with 4 or 5 days out? And here's the other problem, and I'm going to read that here. This also ups the stakes of calling in sick, because if you call out at the beginning of a work block, you're on the hook for 4 to 5 days of sick time, which is sometimes more than half a pilot's annual allowance. I mean, for missing one hop because they decided to stretch the length of your hops. So in response, the unions are calling for more transparency and predictability in scheduling. Right? So typically, a pilot who's on reserve gets about 12 hours notice that they're on the short list to get called up. This is unbelievable. I could not believe I'm reading even this whole sentence. This is how they fuck these pilots in the first few months or first few years that they're putting in their time and paying their dues to gain their seniority. Right? So 12 hours notice that they're on a short list to get called up if they're on reserve. This isn't even if they're actually scheduled for a flight. It's going to give them time to commute to their... Right. They're on call. It gives them time to commute to their base airport, which is also often via a commuter plane, because they can't even afford to live near a base airport because they get paid so shitty. They don't say that, but that's the other rub. That's of course flight attendants as well as pilots, where they then wait in a hotel room for a few hours to get the call about when their tour will begin, if their tour will begin, because again, they're on call. If someone higher in the queue calls in sick or picks up a different shift, they could get called in sooner. And if there are delays, they could be held back longer. But in pre-pandemic times, this reserve system applied to mainly the lower seniority pilots who didn't yet have a fixed schedule, which is about 15 to 20% of the workforce, which, according to United Pilots, I mean, it's just a guesstimation. That's no official released statistic. But during 2020, 2021, 2022, even early, okay, percentage of pilots on reserve year, 50%. They had veterans got a taste of how broken and disruptive the reserve scheduling system has become. They had guys that had been, and women that had been pilots for 20, 30 years, sitting on reserve in a hotel room, waiting for a flight to either show up or to be assigned. Or, I mean, this maybe. Okay, so again, the workforce reductions followed by rapid new hirings have also changed how the unions approach negotiations. Now they have about 6,000 pilots who weren't there last time they went through negotiations. So this was a 6-year Delta pilot. We've had generational shift, and the folks that are being hired now have a different idea and perspective. They expect the company will give us better benefits when it comes to work-life balance, right? Why does this even have to be said that we have a younger generation and they're like, I get to have a life. I'm not going to be my dad. Yeah. Yep. So.
Yep. I mean, my father, who works 30 days on, 30 days off, he definitely gets notice, yeah, it's craziness.
There's a schedule.
Yeah,
you can have
just pull a week stint.
Consistency.
Yeah, Yep.
All right, so let's look at the chat. Hey, Rick Solis, welcome. So CS Moria, air traffic controllers union, Reagan fired them and then hired scabs. Okay. Yep, in case they don't hire scab, they can't, in this case, they can't just hire scab pilots, I don't think. I don't know how you hire scab air traffic controllers either, but I guess there are local ones. But you have to have a certain amount of time on certain planes, and most of them are ex-military
and licensing, and
it's so expensive to get the hours in that kind
training
of a jet to be able to even go work for one of these airlines. I've done a little bit of homework about some of this stuff in the past.
Me as well.
Again, I wanted to shout out the pilots. I got to fly earlier this month, and we had a smooth flight. And so these guys don't get nearly the love that they deserve, and they are, while slightly higher paid than the average blue collar worker, they still are blue collar workers that are at the behest of management and that are working early on just for they're not making big money, and they're working shitty shifts to be able to pay their dues to be able to get there at some point. So shout out to all the pilots out there. Thank you, and we appreciate what you're doing, and we know that you're workers just like everybody else. All right, so I got another story here, and you saw, and it was a good one about Amazon. It's a good one, but it's got a little bit of a weird twist to it, and
as they tend to.
Man, well, the next one's pretty even better, but this one, this guy, all right. Common Dreams, Indie Media Award winner. By the way, go to IndieMediaAwards.com if you haven't gone there yet. Check out all the Indie Media Award honorees. There are 39 of them. Outlets, streamers, and writers. The best of the best. The people who are featured the most in independent left news, and the people that we love and really support and endorse. So, cease and desist order called a massive victory for Amazon workers, and it is. And who calls it a massive victory? The lawyer for ALU. So, okay. Kenny Stansel writes this article. There's Chris. This was over on Labor Day weekend when they were doing the protest over at Jeff Bezos' house. So, here's his article. Progressives in the United States welcome news that federal judge on Friday, and this was last week, filed a nationwide cease and desist order against Amazon, which stipulates that the e-commerce giant must stop firing workers for organizing and otherwise impeding their participation in pro-union activities. Now, what are the ramifications, consequences? What are they going to do? I have no idea. But The court order filed in Eastern District of New York by District Judge Diana Guaharati. I knew I was going to butcher that name. I should have.
That's close. I think you're good.
All right. So it instructs Amazon, which of course is the country's second largest employer, to immediately stop, quote, discharging employees because they engaged in protected concerted activity and, quote, in any like or related manner interfering with, restraining, or coercing employees in the exercise of the rights guaranteed to them by Section 7 of the National Labor Relations Act, unquote. Okay, cool, right? And then Vice does this whole long report, and the thing is that they talk about Gerald Bryson, and he's the one that this is filed on behalf of because he was fired for protesting lack of safety protocols. So, of course, we know about JFK 8 and Chris Smalls. At the time, NLRB found Amazon illegally retaliated against him by terminating him and demanded that it reinstate him. The judge's order denied his request to get his job back because it claimed it wouldn't have significant effect on workers' willingness to organize. That blows my mind. What? So, Ana Lilia Mejia and Demario Cooper, who are co-executive directors for the Center for Popular Democracy Action, applauded the court's decision to provide injunctive relief that protects Amazon workers across the U.S. from being terminated for engaging in legally protected workplace organizing, because while lamenting that ruling falls one step short because it fails to reinstate Bryson. So what they're saying is that this decision is a massive victory for Amazon workers nationwide, the ones at least who are there now. Protection from retaliation is especially important as the workers enter the grueling peak season in Amazon's warehouses, which we know of. Okay, Mejia and Cooper said that nonetheless, continuing to keep Gerald Bryson out of work at this point is just a travesty of justice. It's just mean and cruel. He actually wants to go back and work at JFK 8. Man, what does that tell you about Gerald Bryson, about working at JFK 8, about the people in that union? I mean, it really is a travesty. So, in addition to mandating that Amazon cease and desist,
it probably shows there's no other work.
Well, yes, sure, at that price, especially, at that rate. But in addition to mandating that Amazon cease and desist, okay, from retaliatory dismissals of workplace organizers, other suppressive tactics that violate federal labor law, the court also requires the immensely profitable corporation to publicly inform all of its JFK 8 employees of their rights. I'm sure they're gonna do that on the up and up, right? So again, Center for Popular Democracy looks forward to the posting and public reading of the judge's order so that JFK 8 workers will be notified of their federal rights and of their employer's unlawful actions. Sure. Now, Reef actually has a little bit of a story on this. Amazon continues to aggressively suppress worker organizing across the country, but now the NLRB has the added enforcement power of a federal court's cease and desist order. We will continue to fight for justice for Gerald and other Amazon workers nationwide, and we urge the NLRB to continue pushing courts to grant injunctive relief for fired Amazon employees. Hell yeah. Justice for my boy Matt Luttrell, too. All right. ALU lawyer, here we go, Seth Goldstein, he talked to Vice that the ruling is of huge significance, that it is a national cease and desist order, which means that wherever in the country they violate it, theoretically, the NLRB can immediately seek a contempt of court order. The federal judge is not happy when a party violates their rule. There can be sanctions of all types. Well, that's pretty interesting. I'm not crazy necessarily about Seth Goldstein or ALU. Seth Goldstein is also a DNC affiliated, if I remember correctly. Again,
I know there's gonna be something. Like, they don't grant these powers without handcuffing you somewhere else.
Okay, Yepex is saying that volume on mobile is maxed and it's hard to hear us, which is really interesting. All right, well, I'm going to move the mic a little closer and hopefully that helps. Okay, so
Yeah.
the court order comes just weeks after Amazon suspended dozens of JFK 8 workers who refused to return to the shop floor. Of course, we covered that for a few hours due to health and safety concerns following a fire at New York City Fulfillment Center. Either we covered it or you guys covered it on INA News. One of us definitely covered the fire. Seth Goldstein called Amazon's punitive response to last month's temporary work stoppage a violation of workers' rights to join in a collective action about the terms and conditions of their employment. And he's not wrong. Staten Island facility has earned a reputation for egregious violations of workers' rights since it opened in September 2018. This I don't think people talk about much. Again, this is pre-pandemic stuff. Data published earlier this year, for instance, shows that the fulfillment center's already above average injury rate increased by 15% during pandemic from 2020 to 2021, which is when Chris was screaming about this. And when Matt, earlier this year has been yelling, but Amazon earlier spent big on union busting consultants and pulled out all the stops in a failed bid to crush the organizing drive at JFK 8. However, it worked at Albany, and they're going to say that. Just days after the early October fire at JFK 8, Amazon did successfully defeat a unionization effort at ALB 1. ALU has filed objections to the result, accusing Amazon again of coercive, threatening, and retaliatory conduct. And we know what they were doing to Heather. We know that they were having illegal meetings with employees. We know that they were bullying people and chasing them into the parking lot. They were insisting that people vote no. I'm not saying that all that is not happening. It's not good, and it was a 2-1 loss, as I'm sure you remember we covered. But regarding the nationwide cease and desist order, Goldstein said that it is broad and it is sweeping, and that no one has gotten that yet against Amazon. So that's a good thing. I don't know how much they're going to be able to enforce it or what they're going to be able to do. I don't see any penalties, any punitive measures. What will this cost them? Will Amazon continue to fire these people? My guess would be until it really costs them substantially, they're going to. And it makes me angry and sad, and it's why I continue to cover this and amplify it and call this out whenever I see it. And there's more with Amazon, of course, because we had a holiday this week.
Yep.
We had Thanksgiving, and the day after Thanksgiving is one of the biggest days for Amazon in the U.S. and globally, but specifically in the U.S. But worldwide, what we saw was a global workers' protest that actually bled into the U.S. Thankfully, there was some solidarity. But I'm going to continue with another Common Dreams story, which also appeared in SheerPost. On Black Friday, Amazon workers in 40-plus countries strike and protest despicable treatment. I love it. This is great. So, what happened? Here's garment workers in Bangladesh taking part in a Make Amazon Pay demonstration on Friday. So, more than 30 countries participated. Thousands of Amazon workers in more than 40 countries are planning to mark Black Friday by walking off the job and protesting the corporate behemoth's abuse of employees and the climate, as well as its chronic avoidance of taxes while raking in huge profits. Hell yeah, Jake Johnson. Love that sentence. Make Amazon Pay, which, by the way, is a website, makeamazonpay.com or .org. We're going to go to it, and I'm going to put in a tweet from there later. Actions are expected to include marches and rallies for union recognition in Bangladesh, strikes at nearly 20 warehouses in France and Germany, walkouts in a dozen cities in the U.S., and a protest by newly organized unionized workers in Japan. We have to make Amazon pay all its workers a decent wage in dignified workplaces for its environmental damage. Today, unions, civil society, and progressive elected officials will stand shoulder to shoulder in a massive global day of action to denounce Amazon's despicable multi-million-dollar campaigns to kill worker-led union efforts. And that's the president of UNI Global Union, Christy Hoffman. So it's time for the tech giant, quote, to cease their awful, unsafe practices immediately, respect the law, and negotiate with the workers who want to make their jobs better. That is talking about the unwillingness to recognize the ALU specifically. As they're about to say, that Amazon spent around $4.3 million, literally, like Jeff Bezos with the finger and the Dr. Evil, on anti-union consultants in the U.S. last year as it worked to crush historic organizing efforts in Alabama, of course, at RDU 1, and New York at JFK 8, and at the other one in 5, number 5. Oh God, the one where Tristan Lyon worked. I'm losing my mind. LDJ 5. It's LDJ
losing.
5. So workers ultimately voted earlier this year to unionize at Staten Island warehouse, the first ever, like we said, organized union in the U.S. It was LDJ 5. It's the other warehouse in Staten Island. I just brain farted for a second. Meanwhile, I love it when they put that in. Amazon avoided $5 billion in federal corporate income taxes in the U.S. last year, according to the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, as the company continued to shortchange and exploit its employees, who were frequently injured on the job as they raced to meet the company's punishing productivity measures. Again, we've talked about a lot of that too. So, across the globe, the workers who make Amazon's vast logistics network and numerous businesses possible say they're often subjected to inhumane treatment and forced to labor under grueling conditions to earn a meager paycheck as company executives grow richer each year. And some of them aren't even meager. They are meager in comparison to CEO Andy Jassy, who received $213 million in total compensation in 2021. That is beyond an obscene amount. And there are people that say that he earned that because the company earned X billion and he's in and that's what his pay plan says. And a lot of that is in bonuses and stock. And it turns out that a lot of the stock has gone down in value and it's not nearly what that is. And some of it's in options that he then has to spend his own money to buy and cash out of. And a lot of it he may not even buy at the time that it's, but stupid. Garment workers, like those I represent, toil to swell Amazon's coffers, often without any recognition that we're Amazon workers, said Nazma Akhtar, president of the Samalito Garment Shramik Federation in Bangladesh. Amazon is the third largest direct employer in the world. But when you take us into the supply chain into account, it's actually even bigger. Even larger. And at work, they can face sexual harassment from management, victimization when they try to organize in a trade union against that violence and for better pay and conditions. Wow, that almost sounds like what happens here in a lot of cases. Again, that's in Bangladesh. They're on the front line of climate breakdown. And we've covered some of that too.
Yep.
So they know climate justice and social justice cannot be separated. We need to make Amazon pay, hashtag make Amazon pay, all its workers a decent wage in dignified workplaces and for its environmental damage. Yeah. They disclosed earlier this year that it emitted the equivalent of 71.54 million metric tons of carbon dioxide in 2021, which is likely a significant undercount given how they calculate their footprint and that they want to actually make themselves look better. Jake didn't write that. I just added that extra line. So, Progressive International's Make Amazon Pay coordinator, and this is who's coordinating this globally, is Progressive International and a huge host of groups. And we'll go over that in a minute. So we all know that the price of everything is going up, as is the temperature of our planet. Okay, instead of paying its workers fairly, its taxes in full, and for its damage to our environment, Amazon is squeezing every last drop it can from workers, communities, and the planet. Sure. And so is the U.S. military. Amazon is, and the U.S. military. Let's not forget that. So this guy wrote an op-ed in Jacobin, or they did, that as cost of living soar worldwide, that their hardline stances against improving workplace conditions and recognizing unions remain unchanged. So they're doing the same thing everywhere else that they're doing to Chris Smalls and to ALU and to the guys at RWDSU and to the Teamsters that are trying to organize, and to Amazon Cause. Shout out to Amazon Cause down in North Carolina. Love those folks. They're doing amazing work. In the UK, it offered workers a ridiculous 35 pence raise per hour in August. In other words, a massive real term pay cut.
That's
yeah.
35 pence?
Well, that's
is
like
a
30,
massive real term pay cut?
Well, it's 35 cents an hour. Well, because if you're not giving them a raise, they're actually, because of cost of living, they're getting paid, that dollar's coming out plus taxes. In France and Germany, workers also rejected having their pay cut.
I feel like that barely covers inflation.
It doesn't even. That's the point. It actually puts them worse off.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a raise and I'm putting you worse off than you were before.
Yeah.
Because aren't I the benevolent king for giving you a raise? Which after taxes,
right.
The 35 pence turns into 16 pence. All right. And it's just insane.
Yeah.
So in France and Germany, workers also rejected having their pay cut in real terms. Amazon made $33.3 billion in profit in 2021, but it won't pay its workers a fair share. And you can't just say Bezos anymore. Bezos is one of the largest shareholders. He's a founder. He's on the executive board of the chairmanship, but he is not running the day-to-day operations anymore. This guy, Andy Jassy, is. He's really the guy we should be screaming at, the guy whose doorstep we should be laying on every day. Yeah, it's going to line Bezos' pockets, but Andy Jassy's now the one in control of the ship. So to make Amazon pay, we can clearly not rely on goodwill. Instead, Amazon workers and their trade unions, environmentalists, tax watchdogs, and regulators need to get together and fight back. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Quote, that's why workers and organizers are uniting on November 25th in a campaign to make Amazon pay. From the U.S. to Bangladesh, Germany, South Africa, Amazon will face coordinated strikes and protests demanding that Amazon raises wages above inflation for all its workers, stops union busting, decarbonizes its whole supply chain, and pays its fair share of taxes everywhere. So there was this Laura girl who tweeted about Make Amazon Pay. My guess is that she's working with the organization. And I did go to this makeamazonpay.com to see who's involved, and it's a pretty impressive list of people. And it didn't just happen in the U.S., worldwide, but it said that in dozens of facilities in the U.S., including at STL 8, there were workers who walked off the job, and even I thought this guy hated labor and didn't really like workers. Jimmy Dore? Wait, Jimmy Dore retweeted that? Get out. Wait, I thought he's a right winger. He doesn't like workers. Come on. All right. Shout out, Jimmy.
Fuck you.
Thanks. I teased the next story. Damn it. All right.
Did you?
A little bit. But I'm gonna go back to a two-shot. We'll escape out of this. And I did want to go to that makeamazonpay.com and show you guys who's involved. All right, let's go back here. All right, we're going to make Amazon pay. So, what's going on here? Again, this is run by Progressive International. And right away, it's available in a lot of languages, which is great. Okay, they've got the sign up form. All the countries where they're organizing. There's a toolkit to organize your own. And then you've got, here's the coalition: Progressive International, UNI Global Union, Amazon Workers International, 350. And then here we go. They literally had to put this in alphabetical order because there are so many in every country that are participating in this action, which is really cool. This is organizing.
Greenpeace.
And it's across organizations we may not always agree with and align with. International Federation of Journalists. I'm guessing that they're also like part of the mainstream media. The ITW, the ITWF, some of the big labor unions, but I did not see Amazon labor union involved. I did not see the Public Citizen. We like those guys. That was founded by Ralph Nader. Sunrise Movement. Okay, and I was looking for, I don't see any of the other major unions that we had interviewed or looked at as involved in organizing Amazon in the US. But some of them still had walkouts in their facilities. So I just wanted you to be aware of this website, makeamazonpay.com. They are actually trying to do things to organize workers worldwide and take action, which I think is pretty damn cool. So, yes, Jimmy Dore's word violence. Thank you, Eric. Eric T. Red. Welcome to the show. We got Care Bear Colin in the house, INN. Go check out his interview with Kadal Rani from the anniversary stream. That was great. We got Rick Solis here.
I never remembered that name.
I've typed it like 50 times. I definitely remembered it. Andy must do more than 4,000. Yeah, more than the average worker. You bet. .com. Yes, for sure. .com. Thank you, YepX. Yeah, let me put that up on screen. That's really sweet of you. Saying that
it's all about geometry.
I wish you guys had more viewership. You guys still being punished by YouTube. I guess we are. We're also live on Rumble, on Rockfin. Nobody's chatting over on Rockfin. I don't know why, but we're there. We're on Odyssey. We're over on Telegram. We're on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook, and we're everywhere. So I don't know if it's that people aren't watching us there. We're also on both INN and on Indie Left's YouTube. So we're kind of splitting between those two channels as well. I kind of cannibalize my own channel in that way.
If you're in like, yeah, if you can get your bunny ears to tune into like Southeast Channel 3, I've been piping it into there. You know, you just gotta get real finicky with that little antenna. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we got thumbnail designer.
Hold it.
We got thumbnail extraordinaire designer, INN creative director, Big Mad Crab in the house. I was listening to Wall Street.
Who are these people?
Down. Yeah, who are these people? Thank you, Joe. But Indie Left and INN are not the same. That's a great question, YepX. I'm so glad that you asked, and I'd like to clear that up. No, I am Indie Left. I'm Indie, and Independent Left News is a daily newsletter that I started 2.5 years ago. And I also have an Indie Media Today Substack, and that's what that does is amplify the entire left, from Gray Zone to Jimmy Dore to RBN to everybody. And then
Aaron Monte, you say?
Oh no, I don't want to hear about Aaron Monte. Fuck Aaron Monte. No, Aaron Monte.
The host be knowing.
Oh, the host be known. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, we're not featuring TYT or Humanist Report or any of those guys. But so I started this website 2.5 years ago. Saw about a year and change ago that there were a bunch of these up and coming content creators, and I talk about this to Savvy Sabs, but I organized a group into a network that's INN, that's Indie News Network, of which I am a member and a participant, and Reef and I run the network together, and we represent and work. You can find
all the links to all the members of the network at indienews.network.
Okay, so We do
What,
some
we're doing
original
copy?
shows for INN, exclusive to INN. Jesse Jet's American Tradition is exclusive to INN. INN News is exclusive to INN. We do network roundtables that sometimes have gone to everybody's channel, but we've done a couple like rando roundtables that just went to INN. So we have our own channels for Indie News Network, and we have our own link tree, indienews.network. But Independent Left News is its own entity that showcases everybody's stuff. There's bots that share on Twitter. There's and that's where I primarily tweet
Is your
from.
IndieLeft.media secure or not secure?
It is not secure.
Okay, cool.
Just type it
I
without.
just needed to know if it needed an S or not.
No, it does not need an S, but
yeah.
Thank you. So, Todd, be the change. Another INN member. See, I contacted all these kick-ass content creators, like Colin in the chat, like Todd in the chat, be the change, like Reef, who's sitting next to me, like Rob Durden, who I've done shows with, and Chris Legion, who's been on here, and Angel Rivera, and I could go on and on. There's 23 of us. Check us all out at indienews.network. Now I'm doing a commercial. Don't put the timer up, Reef, please. I have more stories, I promise.
I won't.
Okay. So, yes, I just, to clear up though, I am Indie with Indie Left News, but there is a separate INN, and our Twitter is at Get Indie News on Twitter, and that is the conglomerate collective of 23 people. It could be me, it could be Reef, it could be Colin, but we're trying to basically tweet on behalf of the network, on behalf of everybody. And everybody collectively, by the way, at INN has access to Restream. Everybody has access to Canva to be able to do kick-ass thumbnails and artwork. Everybody, and we also have creative directors. So if you need help, we've got guys like Greg, and if you need help with streaming, we got guys like Reef and audio, and it's awesome. It's a big family. So Rando Roundtable, now it is a party. It's been a party in the past. So I did want to get back, and we're going to go back to our story here, and we're going to talk about another independent content creator who was featured in Independent Left News, but not part of INN. So we love him, and I think I may have even invited Orf at one point to join INN, but Orf is big time. Now, it's really funny that I'm doing this story because I didn't realize until like basically yesterday that Jimmy Dore also not only covered the story, but had Orf on. And I invited Orf to join us, and not to call out Orf out. I love Orf, and I totally get that why he's busy and whatever. But I've been a Patreon supporter and fan, and we've DM'd in the past, and I was hoping maybe that if he wanted to come, knowing that I was going to cover stuff, that he would join us. But love you, Orf. Totally get it. Appreciate you no matter what. You do great work. And Crab's done some work with Orf.
Get your ass over here.
But come on out and hang out sometime. Anyway.
Yeah. You fucker.
Does Reef share and mail his spare herb? Reef doesn't have any spare herb. Reef doesn't have any spare herb. Reef actually needs weed money. So if you can go to Cash App, $ Reef Breland, REEF Breland, BRELAND.
You can find all that.
It's in the doobly-doo in the description down below.
You can always find that at drsmoke.cloud.
Yes, it is at drsmokey.cloud. I set up a URL that goes to his link tree.
Fucking weirdo.
So, Orf got censored, and Matt Taibbi's angry because it happened for Matt Taibbi's website, TK News. What happened? So, we'll start out by telling you what happened on Thursday. So, on Thursday, I think this was, election denial for me, but not for thee. YouTube censors TK produced videos, again, despite factual accuracy. Right? He didn't lie. He didn't alter clips, remove key context. He made edits faithful to reality, got a strike for it. Thank you, Nanny State. So, in late September, Matt Orfalea, or Orfalea, or at ORF, okay, or 0RF on Twitter. Go follow him. Go give him a shout out. Go sub to him on Patreon. He's one of my favorites. He's fantastic. He inspires Joe. I know he inspires Turncoat Don. He's one of those guys that makes these cut videos that just, they punch you in the face. And we're going to watch a couple of them today. So, in late September, videographer Matt Orfalea made a pair of videos for TK. One, memory hold, the election was hacked. Simple montage of Democratic politicians, media officials, enforcement officials saying the 2016 election was, among other things, quote, illegitimate, quote, rigged, quote, hacked, and a, quote, cyber 9/11. I have to say, quote, I want to be very careful. YouTube, don't take my channel down. The second one, titled Memory Hold Part 2, the quote-unquote rigged election, was a similar exercise with one exception that it compared the post-2020 statements of Donald Trump to post-2016 of Democratic partisans. When Trump tells Chris Wallace, I have to see. When asked if he'd concede the election, Orf shows Hillary Clinton saying, no, I would not accept. When asked in 2017 after her loss that she'd contest the results, no, I would not. Okay? He shows Trump later saying he'll, of course, respect the results if I win, and Hillary Clinton saying Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances. Quote. Essentially exact analogs, right? And here's a tweet from Orf showing, you know, that YouTube pulled his video down, and thanks so much for that, YouTube. Oh, shut the fuck up, Shitlib is in the house. Okay, Joe has entered the chat.
What's up, Joe?
YouTube initially tried to demonetize both videos, but after a fuss, they reversed the decision about the first one. But now they've taken a more drastic step, not only deleting the second video, but 2 earlier rough cut versions that were never even shown to the public but lived on his site, I believe as drafts. This is another mad feature of the content moderation era. You can be censored and punished for pre-publication thinking, just for the fact that they think that you might put that out and make that public. They also gave him a content strike, leaving him just 2 away from being removed completely from the site, which would effectively put him out of business. And this is pretty much the story that he tells to Jimmy Dore. And Jimmy's focused on the 2020, 2016, and the hypocrisy here. So YouTube's decision claims that the second video contains claims that past presidential elections were rigged or stolen, and our election integrity policy prohibits content that advances false claims that widespread fraud, errors, or glitches occurred in U.S. presidential elections. Okay, moreover, quote, countervailing views, which we refer to as EDSA context, on those remarks are not provided in the video, audio, title, or description. That's crazy. So this EDSA thing is where they're saying you have to provide context and say, yes, we know that for sure that Joe Biden is the president, and that you have to acknowledge that like throughout the whole thing and have like a disclaimer, I guess is what they're saying here. What? Oh, what the F and F? So here's the letter, what they sent to Orf. Okay, again, countervailing views, elections misinformation have been removed from this channel. Holy shit. It's crazy. So we'll go through this outrageous explanation.
The fuck?
Thank you, Jimmy Dore. Wait, did he enter the chat too? No, Jimmy hasn't entered the chat. Jimmy doesn't enter this chat, but I'd love for him to. You
bitches.
Hi, Steph. Okay, so there are no statements taken out of context. No editing games were played to make it appear someone's saying something he or she did not. This was the point of the exercise, to show exactly what was said, when, and by whom. As to their letter, and I, we fight with them, and there have been others, like, I know that Convo Couch, they've definitely had this happen to them too. As to YouTube's letter, if indeed their election integrity policy and prohibits content that advances false claims that past U.S. presidential elections were rigged or stolen, then YouTube really should be taking down the first video as well. And that's what I wanted to show, was this first video. Mike McRae, Mike. Follow at Mike McRae, Mike McRae, Mike on YouTube.
God, you're not allowed to do that if you get the name wrong. You just gotta give up. Like halfway through, you'd be like, all right, I give up.
Just give up, man. All right, so let's go back here. We're going to show this video. This is the Hunter Biden video. Oh, wait, this is the wrong video. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wait. What we want to do is show this one, the election video first, and then we'll get to the Hunter Biden video afterwards. And that's where Jimmy didn't have time to get to in his segment with the work. But
so if we're all in agreement that it is incorrect to say the 2020 election was stolen, what about the 2016 election?
Look, I'm not going to go back into history.
It
was a stolen election.
It was stolen.
Stolen. He's an illegitimate president. He's an illegitimate president. You know, pretending to be president.
Why do you think the president is going to such great lengths to essentially prove that he beat you?
Because he didn't.
1/3 of Clinton supporters say Trump election is not legitimate.
I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win.
You are absolutely right.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
The 2016 election was stolen. Got a nicer way to say that?
Say Russia hacked the election.
Russia hacked our election.
Russia hacked our election.
A little louder, please.
Russia hacked our election. That was a 9/11 scale event.
This was a kind of cyber 9/11. American
Cyber
institutions.
9/11.
Yes.
Russia hacked our election.
Russia, of course, hacked our election here.
Half of Clinton's voters believe the conspiracy theory that Russia hacked election day votes.
We know that they were into voting rolls. Actual interference with the elections themselves. We know it happened.
Despite no credible evidence, 67% of Democrats believe Russia tampered with vote tallies.
Hacking the U.S. election.
Hacking the U.S. election.
Russia hacked our election. The Russians hacked our election.
Russia hacked our election.
Russia hacked our election.
Russian hacking of our election. Hacking of our election.
Russia hacked our election.
Russia hacked our elections.
Stolen election.
Russia hacked our election.
Russia hacked our election.
The universal assessment that Russia hacked our election in 2016.
Most young Americans consider Donald Trump an illegitimate president.
He's an illegitimate president.
Why is he illegitimate? He just won an election.
That's Vincente
He's an
Fox.
illegitimate president in my mind. That's it.
I absolutely agree.
Experts urge Clinton camp to challenge election results.
We will see how illegitimate his victory actually was. He's an illegitimate president.
Russia hacked our election.
Russians hacking our election.
Hacked our election.
Russia hacking our election.
I don't see the president-elect as a legitimate president.
Trump is an illegitimate president who stole the election.
He is not a president.
He's illegitimate, and my biggest fear is that he's going to do it again with the help of Vlad, his best pal. It's terrifying.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate?
Hillary Clinton voters call to overturn election results.
More than 4 million people have already signed a petition on change.org calling for the electors of the Electoral College to, quote, ignore their states' votes and cast their ballots for Secretary Clinton.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016.
We are the victims of a bloodless coup.
He didn't win the general election.
Yo, Electoral College, make Hillary Clinton president, period.
Donald Trump is an illegitimate president.
Illegitimate president.
Dems don't accept Trump as a legitimate president.
This wasn't on the level. This election was not on the level. I don't think he's a legitimate president.
Our election wasn't legit.
He got his victory
from cheating.
Yes, Trump cheated.
Trump
Cheated the 2016 election.
He's an illegitimate president.
No validity, no credibility.
And because of that,
Anger at what some see as an illegitimate president.
It will not be a peaceful change of
A
power.
number of incidents turned violent. Protesters hurled trash cans, flash bombs, and objects at police.
Several officers injured.
Protesters threw rocks and smashed windows, leading to more confrontations, injuries, and arrests.
The chaotic scene just blocks outside the secure area of the inauguration.
If denying election results is extreme now,
Yeah.
why was
So
it then?
let's be really clear. That comparison that you made is just ridiculous.
Protests against Donald Trump's election victory surged overnight, and some became violent.
Violence erupted on the streets of Portland during the second straight day of protests over the election of Donald Trump. Some protesters launched fireworks and other projectiles at police. Several people began vandalizing cars.
Some demonstrators smashed store windows. Protesters faced off with police in other cities too, including Oakland, Denver, and Minneapolis.
Violent protests continuing now for the third day in a row. Some 4,000 angry demonstrators over Trump's election victory taking to the streets.
Officers confronted thousands of protesters in what police called a riot.
Setting fires, taking their frustrations out on cars and buildings. People threw projectiles at officers and damaged property as well.
I threw a trash can at them because I'm angry.
One woman driving through was attacked as someone used a bat to smash her windshield. They are undermining our democratic process, everything that we stand for.
People literally have the memory of flies. Like they just don't remember any of this stuff, really. So
nope.
I didn't want to. I remember. Yeah. So again, shout out to Orf. Everybody subscribe to Orf. Follow him on YouTube. He's up to almost 75,000 subs.
I think it's Orfalea, right?
Orfalea. Orfalea.
Orfalea.
Orfalea.
Orfalea.
Okay, yeah, he does a whole video
Orfalea.
about it. It's really funny, but we'll go back to the slide and to the article. But this video is, after all, packed with clips of people like Karine Jean-Pierre saying that the 2016 election was stolen. Again, all the things that our old pal Keith Olbermann proclaimed the public wouldn't stand for this bloodless gold called voting. Chris Hayes said Trump cheated. Conga line of officials from Adam Schiff to Elizabeth Warren insisted foreigners had hacked our elections. And these videos made what we believe to be a powerful, legitimate point about the framing of the last two presidential elections. The first is that despite Hillary's reluctant capitulation on election night 2016, the Democratic Party as a whole, as well as key officials in the government, never recognized Donald Trump as a legitimate president. Hillary Clinton, in fact, spent 4 years leading a public relations campaign insisting that A, she actually won in 2016, B, Trump only won because of a fraud and actual vote tampering, and C, Democrats going forward should not recognize his victory should he win a second time. Everybody, no, none of that happened, right? Our view, whether it's Stop the Steal or Russiagate, denying a president's legitimacy because you believe a conspiracy theory is the same behavior and should be treated the same way. YouTube, by administering a strike to Orf, is sending a message that you may leave videos of Hillary Clinton saying we know that they were into the voting rolls, they being the Russians, or Olbermann warning that it will not be a peaceful change of power, which of course we know it was, or that the current president and vice president agreeing that their predecessor didn't really win. All without YouTube's required Surgeon General type warning called EDSA, which is their clunky acronym for Educational, Documentary, Scientific, or Artistic Content. In other words, you may leave up such statements without pointing out that they're unproven, incorrect, or irresponsible. This is de facto. Right. Go ahead.
Yes. No, I'm just saying, except they do. Like.
Right. This is a de facto endorsement of such behavior when committed by certain people. When others do exactly the same thing, it's conspiracy theory, incitement, and even insurrection. Donald Trump, of course, is running for president.
I mean, this goes from. Yeah.
Yep.
With COVID, with like we're gonna get into the Hunter stuff, which has been fucking like. Anyway.
And we'll even shout out Garland Nixon.
Go on.
Who got censored off of Twitter this week because of a joke about Palestinian people, and he pissed off Antony Blinken, who then made a phone call to the State Department, and he got mass reported by NAFO clown pedo bots, those stupid Shiba Inu losers that sit in their mommy's basement and get paid by the federal government to troll actual people and to clog discourse and to try to shape a narrative that there aren't Nazis in Ukraine when there evidently clearly are. But anyway, so Donald Trump is running for president again, of course. His behavior after the 2020 vote will become Exhibit A in the case against his reelection, perhaps even rightly so. But YouTube is signaling early on that it will not permit press outlets to compare his behavior and his statements to those of his political opponents. So, what I think is really happening and interesting here is that you're not allowed to criticize the current president. I kind of feel like YouTube was doing this to people that were censoring, that were saying this about Trump during Trump's presidency. It's almost like you're trying to cause an insurrection. No, maybe I'm wrong. I think Trump supporters will tell
because
you that
they clearly allowed CBS, MSNBC. No, not the other way. Like, no, when Trump won, there was constant videos and every joke on Saturday Night Live, every joke on
was
Jimmy
about
Kimmel,
Trump.
and
I get that. I know,
and how he didn't win, and how they hacked the elections, and how, Yet if we talk about it at all,
right,
even from a lefty perspective.
So this isn't just about statements.
The Convo Couch has been demonetized for that crap forever.
Years, since January 6th, basically.
Yeah.
Same thing with Nico and Slow News Day.
Yep.
This isn't just about statements from individual has-beens like Hillary Clinton, but from official bodies like DHS and FBI. Just like Trump, those official organizations have repeatedly engaged in a form of election denial, warning that upcoming elections would be packed full of efforts by foreign countries to, quote, amplify doubts about the integrity of U.S. elections and to, quote, hinder candidates perceived to be particularly adversarial to countries like China and Russia by, quote, spreading disinformation.
Yeah.
These official statements are more or less exactly what Donald Trump is up to when he announces before an election that it's rigged, quote unquote. It's what he was doing weeks before the vote in 2016 when he said, quote, of course there's a large-scale voting fraud happening on and before Election Day. And it's what he was doing on Election Day when he said the machines, you put down a Republican and it registers as a Democrat, and they've had a lot of complaints about that today. Which, by the way, is exactly what happened in Texas. I can tell you, by the way, for a fact that vote flipping happened. And that was before things turned his way. The idea is to prepare the audiences to refuse to accept results of a vote should they go the wrong way. If you win, it's the cleanest election in history, which is exactly what the Democrats say. If you lose, the electorate is already primed to throw a fit. It's dirty, unpatriotic behavior, and now it's a routine element of all elections coming from the Trump side and from officialdom. Worse, it's the dirtiest kind of pool to have official agencies like FBI or DHS repeatedly leak that Russia or China prefers Bernie Sanders or Trump and is either trying to sabotage or already succeed in sabotaging elections on their behalf. Holy shit. Ask yourself, what purpose public leaks of such assessments serve? These have a patina of legitimacy because the organizations involved, but they're as bereft of evidence as Trump's Stop the Steal claims, and perhaps more corrupt because they're so flagrant a misuse of tax dollars. Hard to argue with there. Yep, yes, pointing out Graham Elwood has also been demonetized since then. The press has to be allowed to make these points. If it isn't, Silicon Valley is encouraging one form of unethical behavior while condemning another. Moreover, it's punishing the media for factually accurate reporting. There is no explicit or implicit message in Orf's videos that either the 2016 or 2020 vote was compromised. His videos are the opposite of election denial. He's clearly making the point that no matter who does it, denying election results is irresponsible. If YouTube punishes him for that message, it just sends a message that all these bad actors are right and the system really is rigged. We've asked politely for a reversal of their decision. YouTube must do the right thing here. So this happened on November 18th. So that was about 9 days ago. I think it was Friday. On Sunday, Monday morning, I see this. Holy shit. Again, YouTube censors reality. Boosts disinformation. Part 1. Now, there's no part 2 yet. And again, please go subscribe to TK News by Matt Taibbi. He also features Orf. He also features other censored content creators. His Substack it's a kick-ass little outlet, and I'm going to use it as an example of things that you can actually do with Substack because I'm a big fan. He's doing a podcast. He's amplifying smaller channels and writers. He's bringing in video editing and stuff. He's doing call-in shows. Shout out, again, I've been a fan of Matt Taibbi's for long before since I started doing news. He's one of the people that I really do respect his opinion and his take, even when he's wrong. And he can be too, but he's usually right. So what happened? What happened? New News Today underscores that they continue to hype fake news. Yes, they do. Why? Because of the Hunter video. So we're going to show this video, and I'm feeling like I may need to.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to put it back, so you might as well do it. And then if it gets pulled, it's up on Rockfin.
I think I can, but anyway,
we've never. I don't think you can turn the YouTube ones back on once the event is over because
Do you remember when my power went out in the hotel room and I was able to bring it all back? From like
yeah, that's because you're using Restream
internet
in
went out.
Restream.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Anyway, so all right, we'll leave it up, and I'm going to take the risk for INN for my channel, but
Yeah.
and we want to get
If it gets
monetized.
pulled, we'll put it on Rockfin.
We're gonna except we're getting close to monetization, and I'm really we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, as subs are by now aware, I'm very upset about, and this is Matt Taibbi's he's upset about YouTube's recent decision to censor a factually accurate video about a quote unquote rigged election comments about Orf, right? As it happens. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to search for new ways to embarrass the company until they reverse their decision. So as it happens, today offers an excellent opportunity. This is 3 days later. Fuck. CBS this morning today came out with a story claiming that they obtained a copy of the Hunter Biden laptop, sent for an independent forensic review, and determined that it appears genuine. This follow-up from the New York Times back on March 16th, and more importantly, the exhaustive earlier work of political reporter Ben Schreckinger, I don't want to mess that up, confirming key emails in his book, The Bidens. Matt did an exceptional job, or back in March in the video above, compiling clips of people who went on air and with absolute certainty proclaimed the laptop a lie, or altered or fake, or pure distractions, and of course, Russian disinformation, all in quotes. Whether or not you thought the actual content of the story was important, the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop affair was a crossroads moment in the history of modern censorship. YouTube played a major role in this event. That's a Glenn Greenwald, by the way. This was a case in which major news media, including CBS, NBC, PBS, CNN, and other countless outlets, actively embraced disinformation in the form of a group letter from 50-plus former intelligence officials saying the laptop story, they referred to a laptop op, had the classic earmarks of a Russian misinformation operation. All the aforementioned news agencies fell for this, as did Twitter, which blocked access to it, of course, in what then CEO Jack Dorsey later admitted was a total mistake. They even blocked it in DMs. And Facebook, whose increasingly adrift founder Mark Zuckerberg later told Joe Rogan the story was throttled down at the suggestion of the FBI. We watched that pretty recently, I remember. I think you might have covered that on INN News.
I think so.
YouTube also pushed this disinformation campaign. It still does. Despite the total absence of evidence from ever existing that the laptop was either fake or part of a Russian information operation, and a growing pile of evidence that the laptop is real, YouTube continues to leave unmolested on its site countless videos promoting the conspiracy theory. That's what it is. Let's be clear that the laptop story is both bunk and an intelligence op. It's a theory. And now it seems that it is more a theory than it was bunk, and that it's actually real. So he provides a brief sample of materials that they still have up, unmarked as misinformation or disinformation. About are they peddling allies from 2020 about the Bidens, of a Russian disinformation, and that's on PBS. Here's one on Nora O'Donnell on CBS. Here's one on CNN from Wolf Blitzer, introducing Alex Marquardt, talking about actually could be part of Russia's latest and very massive disinformation campaign in the U.S. presidential election. Okay.
I mean, he should have just said, like, huge.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for that. Okay.
Huge.
Dana Bash. Also, Nicole Wallace starts off humorously, scoffing at the idea. Okay, bashing of disinformation on Biden. This looks, walks, and talks like Russian intelligence. Right? Suggesting that Biden is a corrupt politician, one of the most vetted politicians in the country. Yeah, the big guy. Jeremy Bash, former CIA chief of staff, now posing as a media figure, concurs. Of course. Again, because they used to just infiltrate the media by compromising the personalities. Now they just put them on TV. This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. It looks like a classic Russian playbook, disinformation campaign. John Brennan, former CIA director. You know how he's lying, right?
Steve Brennan. Yep.
His lips are moving. It is for all these reasons that we write to say the arrival on the U.S. scene of emails purportedly belonging to Vice President's son's Hunter, much of it related to his time serving on the board of Ukrainian gas company Burisma, has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. Here it is on 60 Minutes. Leslie Stahl. And all these links are in this article for TK News, which we will put in the description after the show. There are plenty more of these. Again, he's got tons of examples. YouTube and Google now becoming Exhibit A in the ultimate truth about any attempt to moderate content at scale. If you make even a good faith effort to even weed out, quote, disinformation, relying on official bodies to help, what you'll be left with is official disinformation. Brilliant. But this isn't a good faith effort to weed out untruths. YouTube has become a place that censors true content, but traffics in official and quasi-official deceptions. Again, you mentioned COVID. It's become indistinguishable from the state censorship bureau. If they feel they're right about their decisions, they should be happy to explain themselves to people like me. Until then, they can expect more love letters from this address. Hell yeah, Matt. Subscribers should know I don't believe in letting things like this go. But I also don't believe in annoying faithful readers. In the future, if there are similar entries in this campaign, I'll make them public but won't clog your email with notices. The idea is to be painting Google's backside, not yours. Well, share it with me, man. Share it with me, and I'll get it out there. Because we definitely want to call out censorship too. And again, follow M. Taibbi. It's taibbi.substack.com, taibbi.substack.com. It's his last name.substack.com. It's how you follow, sign up there. Enrique's playing the drums because he's got energy. Restream, don't cross the streams. That's right. Rick, don't cross the streams. Anthony's giving us the hot pepper. I don't know why, but we're getting a hot pepper because something spicy there. Anyway, we've got one more story. Okay, that's good. At 11:15, we're good on time. Oh, you know what? I did want to show the Hunter thing. So let me do that.
Okay,
let's do it. 4.5 minutes. And
incriminating evidence allegedly found on a laptop belonging to Biden.
Some sort of Russian disinformation campaign effort.
One eternity later.
Biden emails finally authenticated according to the New York Times.
It's rewind time.
It's a lie.
Altered or fake, unverified emails.
The story did not quite land due to the lack of verification.
Listen, can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Well, because it can't be verified.
I don't even want to report this. This is one of the most powerful families in Washington.
I'm a journalist.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you.
It's a journalist's job.
Not anymore.
For all we know, these emails are made up.
Not really stories, just pure distractions. No serious journalist should fall for it.
It's a journalist's job to find out if this is verified.
The bottom line is we cannot confirm the story.
Experts say the emails cannot be authenticated.
The mainstream media is not reporting on this story because we can't authenticate this material.
says so.
The Hunter Biden laptop material is genuine.
This is a classic example of the right-wing media machine. It just lacks credibility. The fact that it appeared in the New York Post,
the only place low enough to put this orphan bastard story in print.
Obvious disinformation.
It is so obviously a Russian operation.
So obviously disinformation.
So obviously a Russian plot. Tell me why it's so obviously a Russian plot to you.
This is just classic textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work.
Right, exactly. And this is classic, very classic Russian disinformation tactic.
Your classic disinformation campaign.
We shouldn't look at it as anything other than a Russian disinformation operation.
Known Kremlin disinformation.
Russians would be my number one guess.
Obviously, Russia.
Russian disinformation operation.
Russian disinformation.
Pushing Russian disinformation.
It does bear the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo.
Hunter Biden's laptop looks like it's tied to Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
Well, if Vladimir
YouTube shuts us down, it's been real, guys.
I truly...
You don't know.
The serious answer is that I truly do not know the answer to that.
Did you leave a laptop with a repairman in Wilmington?
Not that I remember. No.
Where's the eyes bugging out?
Are you missing a laptop?
Not that I know of.
Whoa. Not that I know of.
This whole operation looks right out of the Kremlin playbook.
The playbook of Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation put into the haystack.
Russian disinfo.
Sounds like bullshit. I mean, who takes a laptop with their most personal information, drops it off, and never comes back for it?
You read the book and you'll realize that I wasn't keeping tabs on possessions very well for about a 4-year period of time.
A Russian disinformation campaign.
Disinformation from the Russians.
Is that when you were
is trying very hard to spread disinformation about Joe Biden.
The Biden campaign says this is Russian disinformation.
There's overwhelming evidence that the Russians are engaged.
I know, right?
It's a Russian plan.
Russian disinformation.
Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
So could have been yours.
Of course, certainly.
Here it is.
that's hot. That's hot.
History will expose you all as fools and useful idiots for the Russians. The idiocy, the sheer idiocy.
50 former intelligence officials signed on to a letter yesterday saying that the New York Post story about Hunter Biden's emails has all of the classic earmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Russia, Giuliani.
Don't trust anything that he's telling you. This is Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation campaign. Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation campaign. Russian disinformation meant to harm our democracy.
Disinformation by the Russians.
The fruits of a foreign intelligence operation.
Part of that bigger Russian disinformation effort.
A Russian intelligence operation
Connected to an ongoing Russian disinformation effort.
Linked to a foreign intelligence operation.
Connected to an ongoing Russian disinformation effort.
Tied to an ongoing Russian disinformation effort.
Connected to a Russian disinformation campaign.
linked to a foreign intelligence operation.
Likely coming from Russian intelligence.
To people familiar with the matter told NBC News.
We now know that Russian disinformation or foreign disinformation or even campaign disinformation period is as dangerous to our democracy as anything exposed in these emails.
Or like disinformation being perpetrated by you frickin' clowns in the corporate media who's paid stenographers and paid whores and paid propagandists on behalf of the State Department and the war machine and the pharmaceutical companies and the automakers to a point, but some of the worst people on the planet. So thanks for that. Again, go follow Orf, go follow Matt Taibbi, go support their work, support their channels. We do. Big fans. Appreciate them. All right. So I do have one other story, and this was a pretty big one. Ukraine goes dark. And again, where's the corporate media on this one? I did not really hear them talk about the lights going out in all of Ukraine.
Oh, they did, but it was
Russian
Putin, Russian scum. Yeah, it's exactly. Yep. It's like they did. How dare they hit?
All the power plants.
Like it's gonna hurt civilians, right?
That is, by the way, so...
But that pipeline, though, wouldn't have done that either. That pipeline, what?
Well, no, that one through there.
Sorry?
Yeah, they forgot to pay their light bill, I guess, according to Big Mad Crab. Again, shout out to Crab for making the thumbnail. But that is an overhead shot, a satellite shot, and we're going to start with that. Satellite images of Ukraine. The first image, which is actually, it's in reverse. The first image was from January 27th of this year at night. Second image is from November 23rd. Yikes.
Yep.
Houston. Somebody forgot to pay the light bill.
We have a problem.
So what the hell's going on here? So I'm going to ask my friends over at Moon of Alabama, Indie Media Award honorees.
Alabama.
Another $100 billion. No, that's not even enough, Eric. They want even more than that. But Ukraine lights out. no water, and soon no heat. Oh my god. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Earlier today, and again, this was just the other day, the 23rd, 4 days ago. Earlier today, the Russian military shut down the Ukrainian electricity network. Previous attacks limited the distribution capacity to some 50% of demand. Controlled blackouts or other several hours per day allowed to give some electricity for few hours to most parts of the country. The attack today created a much larger problem. Not only were distribution networks attacked, but also so the elements that connect Ukraine's electricity production facilities to the distribution network. All 4 nuclear power plants of Ukraine with their 15 reactors are now in shutdown mode. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. So Kiev, along with most other cities of Ukraine, no longer has electricity. And you saw the overhead shot of nighttime. And there are some other pictures and articles. Moldova is likewise affected as it receives some 20% of its electricity from Ukraine. When the Ukrainian network shut down, only the local thermal power plant shut down too. The only one shut down. The only local power plant shut down. It's likely that it can be switched on again, but that can be a complicated process. Limited electricity imports from the European system into Ukraine may still be possible, but that electricity would only be available in Ukraine's western cities. For today's attack, WAPO reported of the difficulties in repairing the network. As we had explained here before, Russian attacks are hitting the transformers that connect the national 330 kilovolt backbone network. These are hard to replace. Sorry to hear that. As the scope of the damage to Ukraine's energy systems has come into focus in recent days, Ukrainian and Western officials have begun sounding the alarm, but are also realizing they have limited recourse. Ukraine's Soviet-era power system cannot be fixed quickly or easily. In some of the worst-hit cities, there is little officials can do other than to urge residents to flee, raising the risk of economic collapse in Ukraine and a spillover refugee crisis in neighboring European countries. Thanks, NATO.
Yeah.
Ukrainian Prime Minister said that about half the country's energy infrastructure was out of order following the bombardment.
No, you're out of order.
For weeks, Russian missiles...
This whole courtroom's out of order.
Yeah, this whole country's out of order.
What?
It's more like it.
Yep. Yep.
For weeks, Russian missiles have targeted key components of Ukraine's electrical transmission system, knocking out vital transformers, without which it is impossible to supply power to households, businesses, government offices, schools, hospitals, and other critical facilities. Basically, what you would want to do if you want to take out a government that is shelling its own people and not willing to recognize independent countries, the independent republics in the Donetsk, Lugansk, and Crimea that we talk about. But during a briefing for reporters on Tuesday,
9 years,
head of Ukrenergo, which is the state-run power grid operator, called the damage to the power system colossal. Yeesh, that's a word that you don't want to see the head of a power system talking about. Russians, he said, were mainly targeting substations, nodes on the electrical grid, where the current is redirected from power stations. The main components of these substations are auto transformers, quote, high-tech and high-cost equipment that is difficult to replace. Well, high cost is not a problem when you're getting hundreds of billions of dollars from the U.S.
But what do you think the people will do if they don't have power?
Well, that's what the Russians are counting on, and why they're targeting the infrastructure system. A list of urgent needs from DTEC, the country's largest private energy company, circulating in Washington, lists dozens of transformers along with circuit breakers, bushings, and transformer oil. But it's the auto transformers, the heart of the substations. In the words of this minister, or this head of the energy faction, that are at the top of Ukrainians' list of needs and the key to keeping the country's electrical grid functioning. What happened to Burisma, by the way? Ukrainians have tried to buy up every auto transformer they can find, going as far as South Korea to purchase auto transformers, but they still need to place orders for more to even be built. Talk about supply chain issues.
Yeah.
Quote, we try to collect everything around the world that they have now and order more. An advisor to Ukraine's energy ministry quoted. Any attempts to repair the network are useless as long as Russia continues to attack it. And yet they won't call for a ceasefire. To stop these attacks requires a political solution, and Ukraine will have to give up and find some agreement with Russia. Maybe they'll actually listen at some point. Russia also attacked some of the natural gas sources Ukraine has. We asked about Burisma. Russia last week broadened its targets. Their chief executive of Ukraine's state energy company Naftogaz said in an interview that a massive rocket attack hit 10 gas production facilities in Kharkiv and Poltava regions, including Shebelinka, one of the largest production and drilling areas. Yikes. Of course, we will do our best now to recover, but this will take time and resources and material. Time is of the essence because winter is now. Yes, winter is coming. This does feel very Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And I saw a quote like from the Ukrainian First Lady about how they're willing to live without power and heat for 2 to 3 years. Good luck with that. The targeting of the gas supply was a critical development, said Victoria Wojcicka, who's a former member of parliament, now working with civil society groups on getting Ukraine the equipment it needs. If Moscow takes out the gas system, she said, cities and villages across the country would become, quote, uninhabitable. Kelly, good night. Thanks for hanging out. As always, love you. Russian gas provider Gazprom has announced that it will reduce the transport of gas through Ukraine to European customers as the Ukraine is stealing from it. Of course they are. So, Gazprom has said that it noticed some of the gas intended for Moldova under a contract with the local gas firm is being diverted by Ukraine. If the imbalance in gas transit continues, Gazprom will start reducing gas flows via Ukraine on the morning of November 28th. Russian gas giant said today, as carried by Russian news agency TASS. That's actually in the morning, so we'll have to find out and follow up if that happens. Without electricity, there's also no water flowing in the water distribution systems of the cities. Without water, toilets can't be used. Public hygiene will suffer. And oh yeah, the internet in Ukraine is also down. They're not talking about this anywhere. But Ukraine's winning, right, guys? I had people tell me over Thanksgiving weekend they think Ukraine's winning. This does not sound like winning.
Mm-hmm.
A country that is becoming uninhabitable has little chance to wage and win a war. When there is no transport, no electricity, no heat, and no communication, everything becomes incredibly difficult. The refugee stream, all this will cause, will increase pressure on Europe to push Ukraine into negotiating peace with Russia. Tough conditions will be applied, but there is no other way out of this mess. Yes, holy shit, Russia is still providing gas to Ukraine. How about that? While still bombing them. Because Ukraine has to buy it from somebody. They need to power their country. Throughout the last weeks, Ukrainian attacks on the front line have been remarkably ineffective. Again, not telling you this on mainstream corporate media. There is no longer any coordination of larger formations. The units attacking now are mostly only company size or even smaller. And they link a 12-minute video that showed drone footage of such an attack that was published yesterday. Quote, I can't believe I missed this one today. The editing is unbelievable. A 12-minute clip of Ukrainians conducting what was sadly a suicide attack on Russian trenches. Just to be pummeled by Su-25s, infantry, heavy mortars, a tank, MLRs, and finished with an Su-34 bombing run. Oh my God. So basically making sure that the area was completely destroyed and there was nothing left.
Completely cleared. Yeah.
Sitting on top of an armored infantry vehicle, some 20 Ukrainian soldiers drive up to a fortified area and enter the first empty row of trenches. From there, they try to attack the second row of trenches that is held by a handful of Russian soldiers. The Ukrainian troops seem to be fairly well equipped with helmets and armor vests, but they have no support. The Russian infantry fights back. It's supported by well-targeted mortar fire, artillery, tank, and air attacks. The Russians have drones up in the air that can see the whole scene. The Ukrainian units have nothing but their rifles and a few hand grenades. After the attacking platoon is destroyed, the Russian artillery attacks and destroys the industrial area from where they had been coming. The whole operation ends up as a complete disaster. All Ukrainian troops involved seem to be dead. The Russian side seems to have had no or only few casualties. This battle took place some time ago, but it's still incredible to watch now that they made the concise edit. If we consider that such attacks have been happened by the dozens every week, the Russian Ministry of Defense estimates of Ukrainian daily losses aren't that far-fetched. Well, there are several such attacks per day, and only a few are successful. Very few are successful. So from today's clobber list, I can't even imagine that there is such a thing, but there's a link here to a clobber list. So here is in Donetsk. Units of Russian army continued their intense operation. More than 60 Ukrainian servicemen and 5 armored fighting vehicles have been eliminated. Again, this is war. We're anti-war. We don't want to see anybody killed. We want to see this stop. There's no reason for any of this anymore at all. In South Donetsk direction, artillery fire and decisive actions by Russian troops have repulsed an attack by the AFU, with up to a company's tactical group forces towards Pavlovka. In addition, as a result of a preemptive fire attack, enemy reserves advancing from Ugledar have been destroyed. A sabotage and recon group of the AFU has been destroyed near Nova Dakrova. So again, you can see like there's a bunch. The enemy losses amounted to more than 40 Ukrainian servicemen killed and wounded, 3 armored vehicles, an MTLB, and 4 pickup trucks. They're taking out a bunch of stuff here, it seems like. Okay, again, you've got near Lugansk, supported by artillery fire and heavy flamethrower systems. As a result, Russian artillery fire, more than 30 Ukrainian servicemen, 2 motor vehicles, and 1 mortar have been destroyed. Okay, again, they're just showing in different areas another 20 servicemen. Okay, 72 artillery units, and they're going to add this up, and they're going to say that adds up. That is at least 150 dead Ukrainian soldiers just there. I do not understand how the Ukrainian command is still ordering such senseless attacks. Militarily, it should have long gone into defensive mode. It would save Ukrainian lives and would make it more costly for the Russians to attack. But they're under orders, we know from NATO.
I like how you said, "Don't."
Yep.
You were like, "Don't." I don't understand.
I sounded Canadian or like
because it said no. It said it said "do not," and you read it as "don't."
Oh,
European
Parliament.
I don't know.
Which has, by the way, no serious legislative function, voted today for a non-binding resolution that declared Russia to be, and of course we love to Mick Wallace and to Claire Daly, and they called this out. It's ridiculous. That Russia is a state sponsor of terrorism. Really? Some Russians found this outrageous. A few hours later, the parliament was hit by a sophisticated cyber attack. The EP website was affected by a hacking attack, officials said Wednesday. How about that? Parliament President Roberta Metsola said it was a sophisticated attack and that a pro-Kremlin group had claimed responsibility. She noted that the attack followed the EU lawmakers' vote to name Russia a state sponsor of terrorism over its war in Ukraine. And her response, of course, is Slava Ukraini. That irrelevant Maltese conservative still has a lot to learn.
Maltese conservatives. Okay.
Well, no, she's literally from Malta.
This is a fucking
Parliament president from Malta.
I mean, but he's
Metsola.
also playing off the.
Yes. The Maltese Falcon.
The Falcon of the famous. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
before we head over and hang out,
Man,
these
see?
are all the links and all the different logos and all the different properties and all the different things you can check out. We got IndieLeft.com and IndieLeft.news and IndieLeft.media, which is the link tree to all the links, and IndieMedia.today and IndieMediaToday.com, which go to the Substack. And you've got IndependentLeft.media, which also goes to the link tree, and IndependentLeft.news, which is the main website. And, oh yeah, IndependentLeft.shop. We actually have a merch store for the Bong Father, and we have an INN shop as well. I think it's IndieNews.shop.
IndieNews.shop.
And you can go there too.
Yep.
So, YepX, to answer your question, INN, we are a member channel of INN, and we are the founders of INN, but we are separate from INN. We are our own channel, and we're building both channels, as well as supporting all the other channels and members of INN who we love and appreciate. Hey, and we're back to Two Shot. So, YepX. So says what the U.S. media also fails to report on is that there is a much bigger war between Russia and Ukraine. It's about the U.S. is losing its hegemony and about the shift in economic and political power. 100%. They don't want to talk about that.
Multipolarity? You mean? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The BRICS Alliance.
Yep. 100%.
The economic sanctioning.
The Jam Mom, I'm guessing that's Bad Mom Anon. How are you? Welcome. Good to see you. And we've got Eric T. Red, patron supporter of Indie Left. Appreciate you, my friend. Sabby Sabs, producer, engineer extraordinaire. Destroying energy infrastructure is a crime. Yes. Then what is the destroying of Nord Stream 1 and 2? Wait, actually, what we have found.com. And again, I'm speculating here, and I'm going to be careful about what I'm speculating, but the evidence seems to point to a U.S. directed operation that was coordinated and executed by the Polish military and special forces in coordination with British special forces. And Kit Clarenberg has done quite a bit in the Gray Zone UK to uncover that. Shout out to Kit Clarenberg. He's also an Indie Media Award honoree. If you can go and give Kit Clarenberg a share on Twitter, he's awesome. All right. So let me turn off widget here and let's get to some votes. I think you got some stuff ready, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Cool.
I do have some.
And I watch mindless shit. Boats that smash into other boats.
Yay, it's the Reef Show. All right, time to look at Twitter.
Time for boats.
Time to look at Twitter.
Time for boats. Yeah, I know, right?
We need a theme song for boats now. I thought we had one. Jimmy Dore is the theme song for boats. Yes, we see the spinning, and we're starting to get a little seasick. See that?
I know, right?
Thank you.
Yep.
See?
You're welcome.
Oh, just time for Twitter.
Yep. I do see, in fact. But you're not allowed. You have to do this. Where's the button that does this? I think it's this. There we go.
Hey.
Been a while.
Nice.
When your cousin asks if you want to take a little walk before Thanksgiving dinner,
See, that's really funny.
Face, you like, yes, I do.
That's really funny because when you asked me, you sent me a thing like, "How was your Thanksgiving?" I'm like, I didn't have a cousin to go take a walk with. It was literally going to be my response. So that's so funny that you picked this.
Right? Isn't that nice?
Well, there's that one, and then there's the famous meme of coming back from going out for a walk with your cousin, and you come back with the red eyes.
Yep. Yeah. So sad news. In stoner news today. I think the video speaks for itself, though. Oh no, he fell off the stage because he got high.
I fell off the stage because I got high.
I was gonna sing my song, but I fell off the stage because I got high.
Oh boy.
Like,
I nearly broke my neck.
I just got high.
I nearly broke my neck, and I know why.
Get Afro Man on the stage again, please. He was cool about it though. He's like, I fell because I got high. Like,
yes, he did. Nice.
You were talking about this what the cousin brings for Thanksgiving.
Dude, that's a really good cousin. That's a really good cousin.
Isn't it though? What about this cousin? Me and my cousins high as fuck upstairs listen to our family talk shit about us.
Baby
It's
Sting.
fucking these boys.
Baby Sting. Baby Sting. Is that Eminem? Is that Eminem with Sting?
Maybe. I think I don't know. It's some wrestling thing. I figured you would know. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
AEW.
I know who Sting is, but I don't know who the other.
There's like new people.
Yeah. Yeah. Daddy's getting old.
Anyway.
Okay.
Like. Isn't that cool?
Is that a pepper shaker?
I think it's cool. No, it's a roach. That is a roach.
Yes. I was joking.
Oh. God. Why are edibles always like cookies and candy and such? What if I want psychoactive ham?
How about zooming in?
What if I want that? How about it? Honey, what's wrong? You haven't touched your thrice baked potato. The potato that bakes you back. Yeah. I think we've talked about the potato that bakes you back.
Rice potatoes. Dad zone. Already.
We've made it to Dad zone.
That was early. Yep. Oh, I need something after this.
And action.
All right, it's very cold now. Are you sure you want to go inside in the water? Yeah. Henry, you need to think before you do. Okay? How you think? You look at mommy. Do you understand that it's very cold now? Yeah. Look at mommy. It will be very cold in your legs, on your feet. It's too cold. It will hurt your feet. Okay? You know that before you go to the water, okay? Yeah. And when you get cold on your feet, don't cry for me. Do you understand? Because I already told you it is super, 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 super cold. You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, I give it water now.
No, you sure, right? You can check with your feet first. Yeah. You still want to go to the in the water? Yes. You sure?
Yeah.
Don't go that deep. It's deep over there.
I'm sorry to be laughing.
You hurt? Now, do you understand when mommy say it's cold? It's too cold. It will hurt you.
Mommy's kind of an asshole, huh?
I mean, but she was like, I told you. I mean,
Yeah.
I did tell you.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Oh boy.
you're like, I know. She did tell him.
Don't let my wife see that. She would not like that.
No.
She would not think that
I think
was a
she'd
good
be
mom.
okay.
She would not think that was a good mom.
And she told him.
Doesn't matter.
Like,
Because oh, Daddy's got to wear a helmet next time. Bap. Oh, I heard that. Oh, I heard that.
Think it's aluminum.
Oh. Yeah, that was flying too. That hurt.
Lessons were learned, hopefully.
Mentos? Uh-oh. No. No. Oh, child. Oh, no, child. Oh, out of the nose. Nice.
Out of the nose.
Right out your sinuses.
Ugh.
Woo. How good was that, Chicky? Woo. Come on. Oh no.
What does this picture tell you?
Not my house.
What
That's
does
what it
this
tells
picture tell
me.
you?
Tells me it ain't my house.
Not your house, huh?
Oh.
Like, I love the dog. The dog is like the best part.
I didn't do it.
That little guy.
I didn't do it.
I tried to tell her. You know, like,
.com. Sometimes you gotta let him fail.
It's specifically.
Rick Solis
It's
says
specifically
Darby
kids
Allin.
are fucking
Okay.
stupid.
Darby Allin. I did not know Darby
I think. Yeah.
Yes, kids are fucking
Who?
stupid.
What?
The wrestler next to shit. This thing.
That's the name of the subreddit.
No. Kids are fucking stupid is the name of the subreddit. Darby Allin's the wrestler. Okay, what's going on here?
Yes.
Free grocery
and
store.
action. Yep. So it's they have translation. This is a robbery. Like a cop just came in. Robbery? No.
Did he? Cops don't stop crime.
This is a robbery. You sure?
Well, good. You'll be here to report it afterwards. Write up a fucking report. Isn't that what you do?
So, 6-year-old found this and started screaming, "I found the golden ticket."
I got a golden ticket.
This is the golden ticket.
I got a golden ticket. Well, in more ways than one, sir. In more ways than one.
Yep. Here we go. This one's good. You'll like this one because you have this in your house.
That makes me think of the South Park episode. I got a golden ticket. When he gets a Tourette. That's a Tourette's episode. So wrong and so awful in so many ways, but so funny.
Right? Yeah, you have one of these in your house.
Boy.
Oh
boy.
Yeah, I've disabled
that was the wrong boy to hear.
I've disabled all the Alexas in my house, actually.
Oh, have you?
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
Oh yeah.
This one, oh my god. Oh, you're gonna die.
And who are you supposed to be?
My name is Flash.
So that means you're really fast,
It makes really fast.
Why don't you show me how fast you really are?
Oh. That's
why.
Wow.
Why?
That went a long way to set that up. He went a long way.
I know. I know. The kid had a good fucking impression though.
What the hell? That was a long way to set that up.
It was great. It was perfect. Just like this kid is.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think he meant to do that. Oh no, our table.
Well, he meant to land on the. Yep. Oh no.
Oh no, our table. What a great title. Oh no.
So
that's not a cookbook.
So my 6-year-old is learning this spell.
That's not a cookbook.
Just no. Okay, well we gotta explain it, right?
Cookbook.
This is supposed to be another O. Okay, let me see the new book that you made with the improved spelling.
Like, oh.
He likes that scene.
I mean, I know, right? Oh God. Just children, you know?
Oh boy,
more,
do I
please.
know. Do I ever know?
Steak versus slime.
Oh no. Okay, that must be under Kids Are Fucking Stupid. That must be. I hope so.
Yes, it is.
That might be the new game. Is guess
I know, guess the subreddit.
Guess the subreddit.
Yep.
Would you make peanut?
I made him really.
A what?
Oh no.
I don't think that's what that's supposed to be.
A what?
And what is it?
I don't know.
Is it Santa's?
Peanut. I don't think it's supposed to be a willy. I think it's something you ripped off.
Willie.
Come on, dude. Oh, dude. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm so sorry. I swear, I'm so sorry. I didn't do it. He did. He did it.
What do you mean?
He did it. I swear. Oh my word, dude. You just killed me. Oh.
What? This is me at my phone.
Oh.
He's been watching like Papa do that too much.
Oh.
You know?
Wow. Why is this freezing most halfway through? That's weird.
It just does that sometimes. It's enough though. We got it. So you got to teach your kids to drive not too far from now. You know, you're gonna have to worry about that. That's gonna be fun for you. What if they did this?
Slow down, brake! What were you doing? Trying to hit the cop?
Well,
like
maybe
the noise the dad makes is just like
slow down, brake!
Break.
Oakland, Florida.
Yep. That seems about right. What? This is great for my bilingual parents.
Papá. Mamá. Aguacate. Parangaricutirimícuaro.
Love it.
Aguacate, I got that. But I got it. Sorry, it is very funny.
It's like super fragile-calicious to a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is so good. You're gonna like this one.
Use this. Get that off my wall. Motherfucker.
Oh.
Get that off my wall.
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker, give me that.
She can't even be mad. It's so funny. She's literally cracking up.
I know, right?
That's great.
So I think we've seen this one. I'm pretty sure I've shown this one, but I don't mind showing it again because it is that funny.
Time. I'm crying because look, Teddy found the buzz cutter.
Yeah.
Eloise, turn around.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Look, you gotta shave the whole head.
Do you like your haircut?
No.
Turn around. Why'd you let brother do that?
She said she wanted me to do that a lot, and so I did it. And
okay.
What's
All right, it's just hair. It's hair, and it's gonna grow back, and mommy's okay. Mommy just had a little. I'm taking a shower to get ready for my night shift. Did you cut Fred's hair? Okay. Honesty, that's good. It's just hair. It grows back. Okay?
Mommy, can I have my 4 holidays?
You can have 4 challah. Shabbat shalom.
Mommy, you
okay?
don't have. You just have
Shabbat shalom. The eyeballs at the end.
I love that woman. She's a saint. She's a saint. Because I'll tell you, that would not have been
shalom.
That would not have been Daddy's reaction.
Can I have 4 challah? No. Like,
get out now would usually be my immediate response.
You pulled it out. You pulled it out. She did it. Oh my God! Good job, Nell. She pulled out my tooth. It was so loose, and she pulled it out. Good job, Nell. Good job.
The burb. A little burb boy. You have this, right?
You know, sometimes you're human. They get too comfortable, so you have to keep them on their toes. So what I like to do is I pretend I'm walking away like Craig David. Then I come back and I bite them. 1, 2, 3. Just
and
like
I
that.
bite them. Oh. This one's good. I like this one. Full screen.
Get out. Over the cat's tail. Get out. And... Ah! Now you lose the game, you dumbass.
Go get these.
Oh. Where's Uncle Warren? We haven't
Look
seen
what kid got for Christmas.
Cutting your own hair is a rite of passage.
Christmas.
Kid. I never did it, and I ain't saying nothing. And Colin, you better not say nothing to my kids. You guys, these guys talk to my kids, so they
just show them where the
no encouraging where
scissors
daddy's
are, right?
Daddy's beard trimmer or anything.
Mm-hmm. Look what kid got for Christmas.
Cats are jerks. Yes, Yipper.
Oh.
Catch. Oh, I got you. Oh, I got you.
It's just like the Hot Wheels.
Fucker.
Bip.
Choo.
Oh.
I love it.
That's an amazing.
That's a smart kitty.
That's good.
I might have to get that for Ben.
I like it. What cats are jerks? You say?
I'm sure Ben will do it at some point. Yeah, thanks, Colin. Oh, you son of a bitch! I'm going up on a table. I'm gonna drink it up there. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Yep.
Fuck you on the spin.
That's it.
Even better. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, that's so good.
Fucking spilled. This one's good. We got some puppers. And the dog's like, the fuck?
Okay. And what do you do? Shut him up.
Ow. How? Ow.
I'm with you.
I just like the wow, wow, wow. I love when
that sucks. Nah.
Those fucking puppers do that. All right, I gotta be ready with the thing and go.
Uh-oh. What's under there? Look at the face. Dude, you got me.
I know. Right?
Dude, how did they even know? How did they even know that the fucking thing was under there? Looking like that.
Ooh.
You caught me.
You caught me.
The wolf. What the fuck was that? Yeah.
Action.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a hanger.
Out of your shit.
You got to be careful.
Oh, funny cat videos. Definitely good for a brain cleanse. Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
He knew he shouldn't touch that, but he did anyway.
Oh, here we go. This is that instant regret.
Oh. And I'm going to touch it. Oh, God, a spiky
no,
boy.
no. Oh, boy.
God.
Oh, boy.
All right, I'm good. Like, it's a spiky boy.
Don't poke the bear.
I love the just like terrified run, you know.
Orangutans are funny. Orangutans are funny.
Yes, they are. They're really just like people, you know, which are equally as ridiculous.
What the fuck? Why is she sitting there so calmly?
I think it's a glass demonstration.
Is she psychotic?
There's like a ton of people behind there.
Oh, okay.
There's like a ton of people though. Look at the people in the back. They're all like watching.
Oh, he's putting some anger into that.
Yeah. Yep.
I think
high quality.
I think we need to fear for Jenny's
hammer-proof
life.
glass. I know, right? What do you think about this guy's life, though?
Is that a Warhol painting? What? Oh goodness! What the?
It's just the sound.
That's
and like the sound of it coming out.
That's New England. That's New England clam chowder.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know exactly what that was. I've dumped.
What about this?
What the?
How do you feel about this?
Look out! I think a Feeny. No, she loves guns, so this would not be a Feeny. But I could see her.
Yeah, not the no guns.
Yeah, I could see her taking out the do not sign and then definitely walking out with a machine. Damn, girl. Wait, is that Laverne with a mustache and purple hair shooting that thing?
No.
I don't know.
No.
That looks like Aunt Bunny.
No.
It might even look like LeVar Burton. Oh no. Well,
LeVar Burton? Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
You fucking reading Rainbow up in this bitch?
Maybe. Damn.
So explain to me why the handle's so long.
What
is dumb?
Why is it that funny? First of all, I
mean, because
it's funny.
Well,
I guess,
they're a little high.
So that's more than a little.
What? 2? It's the power of 3, dog.
I think it's designed for a handicap, for like a wheelchair use, honestly. But
I mean, sure, but
it's the only rationale that I can imagine. Oh, Rick Solo saying that hair was a 50 cal.
Okay, sure.
And Yipper saying that was cream of mushroom.
You want pizza?
Oh, that
You
is
want some pizza,
fucking
dog?
SpaghettiO pizza. What is that? What does it say?
Supreme pizza.
Oh, so that must be a Pizza Hut
Yeah.
hat. Because Supreme Pizza has all those elements on it. That might even be a Super Supreme because it has
also
olives.
a play off the brand Supreme, but yes. You know,
I didn't even know there was a brand.
They make it that size. Yeah, it's pretty famous.
Oh,
you were saying about
yeah,
clam chowder?
Yeah, we've seen a few of these, and I'm guessing you might have the other one too. Clam the Canes, dude.
I don't.
Oh, the other one is that I saw floating around, and I sent to Reef
Caesar
last week
salad
was the Caesar salad flavored candy cans,
Yeah.
and I've seen that floating everywhere. But my father like raised me on Caesar salad, so immediately that went to my dad, and my brother.
Nice. Oh God. Watch this shit. Ready? And action. And I'm gone, son. I'm taking this with me. Gotta throw it in the back and then get in and then drive off.
I'll take that.
I'll just take this back. Bring it back into the store.
Nice, dude. That's great.
Like,
that's really
isn't that
funny.
good? What else I got? Oh God. So World Cup's happening, right?
That would be.
You
There
know, I don't know
was
if
an
you've heard
attempt.
sports.
I'm guessing the subreddit there was an attempt. That's where that belongs.
What could go wrong is where it's at. Oh, the other one? Yeah, I think that was there was an attempt. So look at this shit. We go up for the save and shit.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God, medic.
Medic. Speaking of, you want to see what happens when we get a goal? Goal!
I know what this is. This is the Saudis.
He took the fucking door, dude. He took the door. Like, did you see him? He took the fucking door, dude. Look, he took the door.
Well, the Saudis had the biggest upset in the history of the World Cup. But yeah, I feel you.
Oh,
biggest
God.
biggest
He
upset
took the
in the
door,
history,
though.
Biggest upset in the history of the World Cup. And yeah,
Nice.
and he definitely ripped the door off his hinges. God bless you. God bless you. Or Allah.
This is sure a lot.
Was it
Yep.
England versus Iran? Was that England versus Iran? I thought that was the Saudis. I thought the Saudis won like a huge upset.
Probably.
I could be wrong.
But anyway, this guy's the life of the party.
Oh. What? Why? But why?
Alcohol. But why?
But why?
But why?
Rick's
But
telling me
why?
yes, the Saudis did win. I believe that was
Yeah.
a bunch of dudes
For what
celebrating
the-
the Saudi win.
Yep, that is correct. This is hilarious.
Oh my God, that is one resilient ass pumpkin. Oh, dude, that. If you've ever done that at full steam and hit concrete,
Oh,
with that
I know,
thing,
I know. It sucks
dude,
so much.
I just felt that right up
Like
my
the
arms.
noise he made.
I just felt that right up my
The noise he
arms, like,
made.
literally. Bang. Oh. It's worse. It's worse than a baseball bat. Like, wow.
Hey, how'd that get in there? What?
Oh, Reef, come on, dude.
What? I know, right?
Reef,
Watermelon.
self-portraits are not allowed. Come on.
This is before I had the beard, I guess.
I guess.
Oh my god, this fucking video.
Witch's brew is, by the way, what it says back.
Ladies, you need to stop using small dick as an insult. It's body shaming and it needs to stop.
Yeah. You tell him.
You tell him. You tell him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that yeah is great.
Oh, with the tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever stood up for him with his issues.
I know, right? This one's also pretty good.
And pepper.
And pepper.
It's a column. It's literally a freaking column.
I know.
That's
I know.
awesome.
It's the best part. Oh god.
That's great.
I love that so much. And pepper. Fucking.
And I'm a big fan of
All
fresh
right.
ground pepper, but that's some peppermint she had there.
So you've heard in a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now see a sheep in wolf's clothing.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh god.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh my word.
That's great, right?
Oh, Joe.
Oh. Oh.
Scared by everybody.
Oh god. I really want that photo to be real.
Joe said that to me the other day, and I'm like, why isn't there an INN tag on? He's like, dude, sadly, I didn't make it. Like,
I know.
damn it!
Yeah.
So good though. Whoever did, genius, brilliant. Shout out to whoever did. Thank you. Okay, this is.
Look at these handsome boys.
Okay, that's totally not blood in the middle.
No, and it's definitely not Zelensky, and it's definitely not Kim Jong Sol, Kim Jong Un, Kim Jong Il, Kim Jong Il. I think one of them.
Lil Kim.
Yes. Yep, Little Kim. Fucking fuck you, dude.
Oh,
you
you
can't
caught
Little
that.
Kim that guy.
You
You
caught
can't
it.
be a Little Kim,
bro. I'm not.
can't be Little Kim.
I'm far from the first to come up with that joke. I completely ripped that off.
God damn it. I know, but it's funny. So the friend of the show, Oz, decided to make us something. It's pasta.
I get that. It's pasta.
It's Oz. And that's Jink.
Oh my god. It's Jake. Holy fuck. It's Jake with the kid
Holy
sunglasses
shit.
on. God damn.
That's
He's getting
great,
good with his
right?
renders. Oh god, my eyes are bleeding.
That's great.
With the jank.
I love it
reference.
so much. Thanks, Oz. Check out Roar
Appreciate-
Media.
Shout out Oz. Yeah,
They do
shout
good
out to Roar.
stuff.
Beauty and the Boomer After Dark on Saturday nights. They get more people watching than us, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
They support independent content creators, and they're the bar at the end of the street at the end of the night. You know, trailer
The
park.
bee's knees, as they say.
Shonda does Trailer Park Pundit.
Um,
She's great. And go follow them for sure. Uh-oh.
Yep. Please
All
do.
them chickens. We got a break. We got a jailbreak. Somebody's got dinner.
One chicken for me.
Thank you for dinner.
Like, it was just like freedom. Oh shit. Now I'm in a fucking Hyundai. You know.
It is a little bit more spacious than that
Oh my
cage they were
god.
in. You know, it's really funny.
Yep, definitely.
Jay Moore actually does a whole bit about soap and how it's magical.
Yep.
Go back. You
It's
gotta
great.
Go back to the beginning of
Borrowing a bar
Yeah.
of someone's soap that's been in their bum.
In there, but
Like,
how are you guys
No,
using
but
soap
it's
at
like
your
being
house?
in and around your bum and your nethers.
Oh,
your
except
no-no
around.
zones.
I don't know about in.
But like when you're soaping yourself up,
Yeah.
Do you, Ryan?
You lather up your hands and then use your hands.
What?
How are you using soap?
Is that actually how you use a bar of soap?
Is that how you not?
Oh my God.
What have you been doing?
Oh my God.
You've been putting the soap. Don't make. Oh. Don't make it. I've used soap at your house.
Taking the bar into the areas that it needs to go. Are you supposed to just like flap it up in your hands
Don't say flap.
and then scrub like this?
Fluid salt. You wouldn't lose it in any orifices.
Oh my God.
She's like, I was today years old when I learned that you don't stick soap up your ass. Yes. Yes, she was today years old when she learned that. Wow. Self-serve,
Yes, she
yeah,
was.
Eric. Oh, Yipper. Oh, that.
And here she was.
I
Here
use
she
a
is at a
loofah?
Southern family function.
Oh, no.
Feet up, Court. Two hands, go. Go, go, girl.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Don't let go.
Whip.
Down.
Oh, I give her a 9.5.
Oh, yep. Russian judge gives him a 9.5.
No, I am apparently.
What do you give this guy?
I'm apparently a purveyor of Russian Putin puppets, but it just has turncoat Don.
Yes, like marionettes, Putin puppets.
Turncoat Don did a video, and he actually labeled INN as Putin puppets very comedically. And
If someone wants to make me a Putin puppet, I am so down for that. Like any kind of puppet, I'm down.
Why do I
Just felt.
think that
Just give me a felt one.
he's about to be injured? Just a
He might be.
Is this like? Is he doing the Karate Kid kick? Green kick?
We'll see.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh!
Hey, Mario.
Oh!
It's a me, a Mario.
What's that? What are you trying to do?
That's what.
Hey, Mario.
He ended up in the underwater pipes.
Yep.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I thought about sending this to you and being like, should we play this? Right? And then I'm like, fuck it. It's gonna be great.
Okay. M&M minis. Hot dog. Halloween candy.
Huh? What are you doing? I got M&Ms. Can you hear it? Look, come here. Over your head. You got to keep as straight an arm as you can.
Oh, no.
And then from that distance, you
Dump
have
it
to catch
down.
as many M&Ms in your mouth.
Oh.
You're going to do way better than me. Okay, pop the top. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, no,
I like
no,
it.
no,
It goes
no. With the hot
slow-mo.
dog in slow-mo. Come on. Where is it? Is she opening her mouth? Is she opening her eyes?
Yes.
And here it
No.
comes. And here it go.
That face.
Oh, that's so wrong on so many levels, and he is so getting divorced for that.
Isn't it though?
That is divorce paper worthy. Sure.
Yep.
Not the face, Yipper. Not the face. Yeah. Oh,
Not the face.
bro, trying to kill
God.
us.
And action.
Hey, bro, are you high?
Why we going so fucking fast, nigga?
We stopped though.
Hell, whoa!
Whoa! What the fuck? What the?
Why
fuck?
are we going so fast? Like, just people doing dumb stuff with cars. It's like, what more could you ask for?
Ábranse culos que llegó la verga. Ahorita les voy a enseñar a estos cómo es que se levanta fierro aquí. Sana, babiche, what the fuck, motherfucker bitch.
I know, I got the end of it.
Motherfucker beach. Yep, what the motherfucker beach.
What the?
Well,
Uh-oh.
just like at the end of the Macy's parade.
Yep. Here comes Santa Claus.
You got to know that the Santa's coming.
Uh-oh. He's
on a rocket sled.
Woo, with a selfie stick.
Look at the raw. It's getting red, son.
Yeah, look at that thing singing.
I know. It's propane powered.
That's 3 minutes long.
Is it? I didn't realize
that thing
it was
is
3 minutes.
glowing. Holy shit, is that thing glowing?
Oh my god.
Oh. Yeah, that must be getting pretty hot
How
on your
awesome
belt,
is that?
Santa. Holy shit. Is the whole thing gonna be glowing like the middle one? Oh ho ho! Oh no! Yeah, he set the thing on fire. He probably blew the engine. Yeah, the whole thing's on fire right now. Oh, bye bye!
Like, oh shit!
Oh, bye bye! We just blew our engine, dude. That's balls.
I know, isn't that cool,
dude?
Like,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I think he ran out of propane.
probably. That makes sense. I scored on Mario Kart. So you know how we end things here. You know how we do things.
Oh yeah, we sure do.
Oh,
Where's our
yeah.
bang?
We end things on bangs.
Nice. Eric wants to be a the smoke out the nose.
Like,
John Legend. He looks like John Legend with the beard on his left side now. A charm.
Right?
He gave a John Legend beard. He didn't have a mask.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh. That's not how
Let's
you're
go.
supposed to light a roach. Yeah, it tastes like shit too, doesn't it?
Oh, that lad.
Did he swallow it? Did it go
Like,
right down
what was
his
he?
throat?
No, he just
spit
put
it
it in his
out.
mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to put out roaches on my tongue that way.
Proud of you.
That's the only way to do it. Is that nitrous?
No. Potassium
Uh-huh. Oh,
in water.
that's a bang. And it's signed in with a real bang.
Yes, it is.
Now here it comes.
So is this. It is FPS Russia, where safety is #1 priority.
It is the Sea Hive. Probably the best site in the
Sea Hive.
world. Look, it's probably the best site
He got
in
in
the
trouble.
world.
He's like in prison.
Is he really?
I think he might have gotten out. Yeah, there's some fucking crazy like tax evasion or
I don't know who
some
this
weird
is.
weirdness.
I've
I don't
never heard of
remember,
this
but
guy.
Let's get a nice big explosion.
early
and a
YouTube
little
guy.
shrapnel going.
Oh my.
Maybe a lot of shrapnel.
Holy shit, that door came real close to taking his ass out.
I know, like real close to just cutting him in half. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, okay,
Oh,
maybe a lot of shrapnel.
Maybe a lot of shrapnel.
Maybe a lot. I know, right?
Wow.
Oh.
All right. All righty.
Boats.
That was boats, everybody, and that was another happy episode of How Did We Miss That? Right at 2.5. Stay tuned this week. We got a big week. So I don't know if it's Monday night, Tuesday night, sometime we'll put up the stream. But Tara has an interview with a young woman who's on
Faina.
on the Meyerowitz kill list, and talk about what that's like. And she lives in Donetsk, Faina, And then
It's gonna
Tuesday,
be 10 p.m. Pacific. Tuesday,
we got Care Bears show. Is it 10 p.m. Pacific? Okay.
I think
Tuesday we got Care Bears special episode of INN News. Wednesday we've got INN News regular. It's regular night and time. Wednesday night 9 o'clock. And stay tuned for some other stuff. I'm working on a little something. I got a logo. I got some scripts written. I need to organize some stuff, but there's something special and new coming out of me. And it's not going to be politics related, believe it or
like
not.
a little alien.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, so we'll be up. You can download the podcast. Go to anchor.fm/independent left news. You got to spell that all the way out. I'll get that up there this week. If Phantom Fanto resurfaces, he's taking a week off. Shout out. Thank you so much for all your work, Fanto. If he resurfaces this week, hopefully we'll get some clips done. If not, I'll have to do it myself. And I can do that if I need to. We had an awesome American tradition last week with Jesse Jett, and he did a listening party for his re-release of The Coming Spring. And that was great. So definitely check that out. I just created actually a new playlist for all the full episodes of American Tradition because we only had a Jesse Jett playlist and there were clips and full episodes and everything. So now just the 11 episodes, or actually there's 15 episodes in total. One of them, I realized yesterday, never made it onto INN's channel because we were censored for a week. And we only went live on my channel that week. It was Labor Day week. And I have the video file uploaded and it's all ready and queued up. And maybe one day this week, maybe even Thursday night, I'll run that as a premiere and we can have that run live on INN for the first time. And then add it to the library with all the other episodes. But for tonight, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. This was a lot of fun. Appreciate you going through these stories. Support workers. Support Amazon workers, support pilots. Shout out to Orf, free Orf, fuck censorship, and always question everyone's motivations, everybody. What about you? If you fall asleep?
Keep listening to what little birds had to tell you. Good night, fam.
I think I liked it better being blind when I couldn't read between the lines. And when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say?